my gosh. That is a freaking toad. This year, kayak bass fishing came back to Toledo Bend for the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Trail Series Championship and Challenge Series Championship, where the top anglers in the Trail Series and the top 100 anglers in the online Challenge Series duked it out for a $30,000 cash payout. This year, the kayak bass fishing community was rocked to its core by the loss of one of my most beloved friends. That friend was Rebecca Golden. Rebecca was a dynamic personality, an unbelievable competitor, and she would do everything she could to better herself as an angler. But what was more impressive is what she would do to better those around her and do anything she could to help a friend. In one interview, the question that we asked Rebecca was, when it's all said and done, what is your goal with kayak bass fishing? And Rebecca's response was,
I hope that people, the other females, see me doing this and want, I don't know, derive a little confidence or inspiration about it. The friends and the sense of community that you get from participating in it, it's an amazing group of people and just an amazing sport. That's why I love kayak fishing.
So I went to a lot of memorial ceremonies over 20 years in combat SAR, and they all sucked, This one's especially tough because she just was such a special person. This has been like the longest day that I've had in a long time. But what's got me through this day is about every third or fourth time I cry, I think about something smart ass she said or something funny she did, and I literally just start smiling about it. So the only way that this turns out to be what it should be is if we honor her memory, if we celebrate her life, because she came here to fish. She wants you guys to fish. She was through and through what this sport's about. She was through and through what this community's about. And I don't have any fancy things to say, and I'm never at a loss for words. Most of you guys know that, but I'm gonna take off. I gotta go get my stuff ready to film tomorrow. We're gonna make the most kick-ass fishing episode we've ever done, and we're gonna dedicate it to Rebecca. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Here's the deal. We're doing a little different today. We are following an angler from Franklin, Tennessee, right close to me, just outside of Nashville, named Donnie Bennett. And with a tournament with almost 200 people competing, Donnie has found a boat ramp where nobody else is. So he's gearing up right now. He's gonna head out. His plan is he's fishing mid-lake docks. We're gonna have to see how that plays out as far as the strategy goes with what the rest of the anglers are doing here on Toledo Bend and Manny, Louisiana for the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Trail Series Championship. So Donnie, here's the deal. What I need you to do today is not suck, all right?
I'm gonna try.
We're dedicating all of our resources to making a great, informational, and entertaining television. So no pressure, but it's all on you today, all right?
Right.
Number one rule, guys, when you're fishing a tournament is don't suck. All right, Donnie, get out there and don't suck, man.
I'm gonna try.
No pressure, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
One of my favorite things about owning the tournament trail is I don't have any stress right now. I don't have any anxiety. I also don't have any adrenaline, so that's a trade-off. I get to sit here and drink a cup of coffee and watch these guys go through their routines. I know what they're going through, having been a long-time tournament competitor. I miss it, but it's also kind of cool to be on this side and just sit back and watch the different strategies unfold. We're gonna go jump out on the water, follow Donnie, see how he does, see how it works.
Game on. Becca, this is for you, baby. Oh man, no. I'm wrapped up. There we go. No, he ain't as big as I thought he was. He's gonna measure, I believe. And this fish is gonna be 14 3/4. Shoot. All right, let it back in the water. I need to go ahead and submit this fish because there's a $50 hourly big bass. That 14.5-inch fish could possibly win me $50 if I've got phone service.
So one of the things we did at KBF to incentivize anglers to load their fish throughout the day and to create a little bit more of a dynamic on the leaderboard is to create the big bass brawl. Now that's the biggest fish caught over the course of the day, but we also do hourly payouts each hour. So it's interesting to watch anglers as they load their fish in an attempt to win the hourly big bass brawl, but at the same time, watch them jockey for position on the leaderboard. I've personally overheard anglers that say, man, I never checked the leaderboard when fishing the tournament. That is until the big bass brawl came along. Now I'm checking it every few minutes.
Yeah, I just submitted my fish to Tourney X. That one fish put me in 10th, which I got a long ways to go because Dwayne Taft, the winner of the national championship, is leading first place now with 50+ inches. That guy is a stick. This is his fishing. He's from Texas. He knows how to fish these reservoirs. So anytime he's up there, you got your work cut out for you. I got to start catching some fish.
What's interesting is to see the psychological impact of anglers knowing what other anglers do. Now, I've had a lot of anglers tell me they don't like it, but by and large, I think what has happened is a lot of anglers who aren't catching fish see those fish showing up on the leaderboard, and it actually fires them up. It gets them excited. They don't say, well, the fish ain't biting. They say, if these guys are catching them, I can definitely catch them. So for me, it's a bit of a wolf pack mentality. It creates a frenzy, and it makes these guys fish hard all the way to the end.
I caught 3 fish under that dock the other day. I'm hoping there's 2 more under there. I just got a feeling that I'm gonna catch some good fish back in here. I just have that feeling. Where are y'all at? Oh, calm down, Donnie, quit getting frustrated. I gotta get on my game here. Something's gotta happen. And I've gotta catch a fish. Got to catch a fish. All the fish that I found over here on Wednesday are not here today. I've thrown lipless, plastics, square bills. I mean, I'm not even seeing any fish on the graph now. I'm kind of at a loss what to do now. I don't know if I need to pack up and move, but I know there's fish in here. I've caught some decent fish in here, but I don't know what's happened to them. That's how it goes. They're here one day, next day they're not. That's the chance you take. And I just had it in my gut they was gonna be here. It's 10 o'clock now. I'm loading up, heading out of here, and then I'll make a decision going down the road which direction to head. All I got a chance at now will be a daily fish today or tomorrow or a big bass, unless I catch 4 more really, really good fish. All right, we're fixing to roll on up out of here.
All right, guys, so in bass fishing, there's a term known as running and gunning. It's more prevalent in the bass fishing, boat fishing world, but the kayak fishing version of that is load your kayak up, throw it in the truck, drive to another spot, and relaunch. And it's one of the things that's allowed in our tournaments, because if kayak fishing has a disadvantage, it's range. But because you can just throw it in the truck and drive to another spot, a lot of times you can change places on the lake faster than you could get there in a bass boat. So this guy's running and gunning, making a move. Let's see if it turns out to his advantage, or if he left the fish to find that he can't find fish. Let's talk about something that is a raging debate that I'm not gonna settle here, but I want to at least touch on it, and that is trailering kayaks. A lot of guys say, man, you get into kayak fishing for simplicity, why would you use a trailer? Well, here's what it boils down to. Especially when you're tournament fishing or when you do it for a living like I do, it's time management. It saves you time, it's convenient, and it makes it really easy to move from spot to spot. So when you got a situation where you're fishing for tens of thousands of dollars, that little bit of difference in time management, especially if you're gonna move a couple times during the day, could make that trailer worth more than its weight in gold. So the reason I fall on the trailer side of the argument is because if it saves me 10 minutes, that could be the difference between going home broke or going home with a big old check.
There's an old bridge right there. I guess it used to be the old highway bridge. Water's a whole lot warmer down here than it is up north where we were at. It's 70 degrees here. There he is. That got my heart pumping for a minute, but he wouldn't have fit in the sardine can. That might be a good fish. Man, he's a little one too. There he is. I think that will measure 12 inches. No, maybe he won't. Doggone it.
90% of fishing is mental, but it's always interesting to see how anglers approach the competitive mentality when it comes to fishing a tournament. Some guys are only fishing for big fish and they don't get any confidence unless they're catching big fish. Other guys opt for the strategy of catching 5 fish first, getting that confidence, getting their name up on the leaderboard, and then trying to upgrade from there.
He's gonna be close to making 12 inches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never been this happy in my life, to be honest with you. If I can catch 3 more 12-inch fish, at this point, I'll take it. So maybe we can go back over there with that pole and catch another one.
And then there's the angler that never gives up. To me, that's the kind of angler that's gonna consistently put themselves in the position, and it's that die-hard, competitive, never give up mentality that's gonna put you in the winner's circle.
That's a little better fish. That's a whole lot better fish. Bam! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Quit flopping. Lay your tail down, little buddy. So I'll tell you a trick I've learned too with measuring these fish. If you put the measuring board up on the side of the gunnel of the kayak and have it at an angle, the fish will relax. Don't ask me why they do that, but they do. As soon as I raised it up, he laid his tail down. Shoot. That's what I'm talking about. He's gonna be 14. Thought he was gonna make a little bit bigger, but hey, I'm gonna take it. I'm going back up there and catch another 14 to cull that 12 I had. Thank you, Rebecca.
I'm crossing over the bridge and I see a fellow Tennessean here, Marshall Yarborough from Clarksville, and we stopped, hollered at him. You know, the standard fisherman. Hey man, you catching anything? He said, yeah, I caught one right over there off the dock. Caught it on a crankbait, but not a shad color like most people are throwing this time of year. It's actually throwing a bluegill color. One of my favorite colors this time of year is red, Gunnersville crawl or Okeechobee crawl. So it's interesting to see the different things, but I can tell you, in my opinion, this time of year during this transition, your darker crankbaits show up a lot better in this stained water, the slightly off-colored water. And so one of the things that I always do is I tell people to remember this tip: red hot October. Anytime in October across the South, you can get away with a red crankbait, and there's just something about it. It fires up the bite. But bluegill, something dark, and it might be the reason the red works, is it's just darker, provides a little more contrast, and there's so many shad in the water. When you're throwing something silvery and flickery, you're like lottery fishing. But when you throw something that contrasts the bait a little bit, you're probably gonna get bit a lot better. So anyway, we're gonna wish Marshall some luck in the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Trail Series Championship. All right guys, so here's the deal. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna find out exactly how Donnie finished his day. Now Donnie, I watched you on the leaderboard as we were running around and checking other anglers and didn't see you there, like at all. And then at the end of the day, it was like, doo, 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 doo. So tell everybody what adjustments you made that started causing you to catch fish. Did you end up with a limit?
I got a limit, that's the main thing.
And I'm in the game. So here's the question though. That was your goal this morning when we talked. What adjustment are you gonna make tomorrow so you can inch your way up, not just up the leaderboard, but into the money?
I'm going south in the morning.
Going south.
I'm going south.
So you're abandoning your entire game plan, even your move 2 that put you in the deal.
Because there ain't no big fish over there.
No big fish.
I don't believe there's big fish over there.
So you're going after big fish.
I'm going after big fish.
So you fish today to stay in it. You're gonna fish tomorrow to win it. That's one thing to keep in mind, confidence, right? The mental game. When you're fishing a tournament, catch them one at a time. Focus on getting your 5, and after you get your 5, get your upgrades, and then do it again the next day.
And that's what I done.
That's how you win a tournament.
Once I got over there and caught a couple of fish, then I calmed down and I wasn't all upset. I was like, all right, I can do this.
Now, I'm not gonna mess with your brain,
I just started catching
but
fish.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Are you not just gonna safety up and go back to that spot and get you 5 for tomorrow and then go upgrading? Don't answer me. I just want to mess with your brain.
I'm Linda Curtis Sparks, Director of Sabine Parish Tourist Commission, Toledo Bend Lake Country, and we're excited to be working with Chad Hoover and Kayak bass fishing to celebrate No Man's Land in Louisiana. Let me turn it over to Chad and let him tell you the story of becoming Louisiana.
The No Man's Land Becoming Louisiana Bicentennial Celebration is a collaborative effort between the 7 parishes who are historically tied to the geographic area of No Man's Land. Beginning in the fall of 2018 and continuing into the fall of 2021, the No Man's Land Bicentennial Committee will jointly promote the culture, history, art, folk life, natural resources, cuisine, attractions, and events of No Man's Land. One of those events is the Kayak Bass Fishing No Man's Land year-long catch photo release Kayak Bass Fishing Challenge. The Neutral Strip region, also known as No Man's Land, draws its name from the area's brief stint as an official buffer between Spain and the United States following the Louisiana Purchase. When the United States purchased the territory from France, Spain and the U.S. were in a conflict over the boundary south of Natchitoches. As a congested area with unclear boundaries, Spain governed the region with a blind eye, issuing land grants and allowing squatters of all manner in order to thwart American expansion. In lieu of an armed clash to decide the new territory's boundaries, both governments agreed to remove all troops from the disputed area until boundaries could be determined and the official Neutral Strip was born. The Neutral Strip region exhibits a culture colored by several pockets of diverse folks. Sometimes described as a place filled with outlaw culture, the region is better understood as the bastion for cultural groups who wish to find a home where they could preserve a way of life they cherished. For more information on the year-long bicentennial celebration of No Man's Land Becoming Louisiana and the year-long Kayak Bass Fishing No Man's Land Challenge, check out visitnomansland.com.
We're looking forward to the celebration of No Man's Land. Come visit us and learn about when the western parishes became Louisiana.
Let's take a look at the Day 1 leaderboard before we head into Day 2's competition and see how the guys are faring on Toledo Bend. In first place, it's no surprise that the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing National Champion, Dwayne Taft, is at the top of the leaderboard with 96.5 inches. What's crazy is second place is over 10 inches behind. Third place is the 2017 Kayak Bass Fishing Angler of the Year, Jamie Dennison from North Carolina. All right, so on Day 1, we followed Donnie Bennett. Donnie is currently sitting in 21st place. We'll keep an eye on Donnie on the leaderboard today to see how he fares. There's a lot of movement that can happen on the leaderboard. The guy we're following today, Ron Himmelhaver, is sitting in 66th place with one 14-inch fish, and he knows that he's out of the money, so today he's fishing for the big fish bonuses and pride. This is Ron Himmelhaver from Clarksville, Tennessee. Ron and I have actually been going back and forth and we're putting together a catfish series. But right now, Ron's here fishing the KBF Trail Series Championship. So we're gonna follow Ron out on the water for a little while, and then we're gonna go see if we can't catch up with a couple of guys in the top 10, find out who takes home the title of the 2018 KBF Trail Series Champion. All right guys, so Day 2 is underway and the anglers have headed out. One of the things we do at KBF is we allow the anglers to launch a little bit early because pretty much every place we fish, there's also boat tournaments. So it's actually safer to let the kayak anglers get out there, get into some of their coves and get out of the traffic lanes before the boat tournaments, who always launch at safe light, let their guys blast off. So it's one of the things that we do to try to deconflict, and it gives our guys an opportunity to get out there and maybe get to some of the better spots first.
I almost feel like a frog is what I need, and now this grass, but we're gonna try a stick bait because it's what I like. It's go time. I'm gonna take every chance I can to get out here and compete. For me, it's not even so much about the competition of it. It's more so about challenging myself to become a better angler, and pitting yourself against the best anglers in the nation is probably the best way to do that. So we started yesterday off. I was about 50 yards behind the guy that I came with from my club back home, he nails a nice 19.5-inch fish. I'm like, fantastic, brother, good job. A few seconds later, I get bit, set the hook, catch a 14-inch fish. I'm like, okay, well, that's got me on the board. It's gonna be a good day. Worked down a little farther and came up to this little grass point, threw in. I get bit, I set the hook, it's a good fish, line breaks. And that is why they call it fishing, not catching. You know, I've had some success catching catfish, and you know, I get a lot of guys now that have posted up pictures of me holding, you know, 35, 40-pound blue cats in my kayak, and so I get some guys going, oh yeah, he's the catfish guy, that's the catfish guy, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I've placed higher than you in some of our tournaments, so can't I just be the good fishing guy or something, you know? But of course, it's a whole lot of talk for a guy who ain't catching anything.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. We were driving down the road, passing the spot where Donnie finished up yesterday, but he didn't start there today, heading to Turtle Cove to check out some other anglers. I see Donnie boat up, so I pull over on the side of the road. He just pulled in another fish. Now listen, I've been watching the leaderboard, and we were coming looking for Donnie because he had moved up as high as 4th place, but just dropped back down to 8th after several anglers uploaded fish. I don't know what this is gonna do for his daily lead, but he's definitely catching fish. Proof positive that you can't give up, because on day 1 at noon, he had 1 fish. Now he's in the top 10 with a chance at making it to the top of the leaderboard.
Shoot.
All right, guys, so we made our way out to this flat that Jeff Fader is sitting here fishing. Don't want to push in too much and interfere with his fishing. He's fishing a specific area, and he's trying to stay over a specific spot, because I see him sitting down and popping up and sitting down and popping up, bumping his pedal drive to get him back to that spot. So not exactly sure what he's doing, but we're going to watch him for a minute, because I just checked the leaderboard on Tourney X, and he moved from 6th place yesterday up to 5th place for his 2-day total. So he's making a move.
I was out here catching them on a spinnerbait yesterday. It was pretty windy, and this morning I was a little worried. I wanted to come out here and duplicate that same pattern, but it was pretty slick. Fortunately, the winds picked up. I'm going to try to duplicate it again today. I'm finding them that they're along the edges of the drops, right in the weed lines, and there's a lot of little bait fish out here, really small though. So this is really the only thing I've been able to find that get them to going, and it's just a lot of flash, but they seem to hit it. Not too many bites, but just grinding it out. You know, I'll run it through the weeds like this a bit, and then I'll just stop it and let it fall a bit. And more so, I've gotten my bites on that on the fall. A lot of the weed is pretty thick in cover, so you know, it does have to be just in the right spot, run along the weed lines just right. What I'll generally do is I'll, again, the wind is in my favor. I'll work upwind, pull the power pole up, and just let myself drift. If I get to an area that, you know, I think is going to produce, wear that area out like I am now. And yesterday, I mean, I was pretty close to a personal best. It was a fat girl, pretty big. I did weigh it. It was a little over 5 pounds, but I just wished it were a little longer. We still got a few hours today. Hope for that Toledo giant.
Well, that was fun. I pulled up my Navionics app, I looked at my chart, and I said, huh, there's a feeder creek that comes out of that flat right over there. Looked around, there's no competitors anywhere near us. So I decided to paddle over and move up into the creek. In second cast, a fish was laying by one of these stumps. Now, what I decided to do is, the water's really stained, but there's a lot of shad activity, and I see these fish, you know, boiling. I see them knock shad out of the water, but they're not herding them yet. They're not pushing them, and schooling fish aren't busting on them, so it's isolated. So with limited visibility, what I decided to do is go with a chatterbait over a spinnerbait because it's got a little bit more thump, a little bit more vibration. I can hop it and pop it off the bottom. So I threw it up past that stump, let it fall for about a 2 count, and then slow rolled it, kind of ticked the corner of the stump, and as soon as it come off the stump, that fish smashed it. What I've got on this Project Z-Man bait is silver blade, so it does give off some flash because the sun's high. And then I use this Yamamoto Seiko bait where I cut the nose off of a bait that I had used previously, and I call that the rebait concept, where I get a little more mileage out of my baits and get a little bit more bang for my buck. That combination right there worked out like a champ. Anyway, these fish are getting ready for the fall feed up. They're strapping on the feed bag, and it's gonna be interesting to see if the other guys put this pattern together, or if some of the guys that are already doing well are doing the same thing. So we'll find out at the end of the day. Right now, I'm gonna see if I can catch a couple fish, and then we're gonna go see if we can find old Ron and see how he's doing.
It took me forever to start using chatterbaits because I always thought, why do I need a chatterbait? I've got spinnerbaits. Everybody said, oh no, you need a chatterbait for fishing grass. So much better in the grass. I can't tell. This is not working.
So one of the things that anglers struggle with is confidence. And I'm not sure if that's something that Ron suffered from, but it is one of those things that in a tournament, after a certain amount of time passes and you haven't caught fish, every angler at every skill level struggles with.
So days like today, I get a bit frustrated with myself because, I mean, I know I can catch fish, and then I hear about other anglers that I really respect, and they're not doing much better. It makes me feel a little bit better. Not a lot, but just a little bit.
One of the things that's tough is to watch guys that have invested a lot of time and effort and energy and money struggling to catch fish. And I think what ends up happening is that anglers get into a mode of being tied to a certain type of fishing, a certain type of water that's their comfort zone, instead of just going with basic theories of where the fish should be.
Now that's what I've been looking for right there. We're starting to get some blow-ups out here on these bait fish. That's familiar to me. That makes sense.
Learn your basic principles, right? Learn that fish move, how they move, when they move, where they move. What makes this whole thing fun is you don't always know where they're gonna be. What makes this whole thing fun is having the ability to get out there and strike out sometimes, but it's taking those lessons, adding them together to create an incremental increase in your ability to catch fish. That is the part that drives me. It's the part that drives a lot of super competitive anglers out there. And if you don't get as jacked up and at the opportunity after you don't catch fish to go back out to change that, then you probably should stay out of the competitive game. Because to me, I don't know, there's just some switch that flips if I can't catch them that drives me mad until I'm able to figure them out. And you know, after all, figuring them out, that's not just half the battle, but it's also half the fun. It's actually about that time that we got to head back for the award ceremony. All right guys, kayak bass fishing couldn't do what we do without your support, and we appreciate it more than we can ever tell you. But not only do we appreciate your support, but we couldn't do this without the support of our awesome sponsors. New Canoe Kayaks, Torqeedo Electric Outboards, Yak Attack accessories for rigging the dream, and NRS for all of our apparel needs. Those guys are the reason we were able to bring you this awesome trail series and challenge series this year, and we can't wait till they're back next year and we can make it even better. So when the smoke settled and the dust cleared, Jamie Dennison, the 2017 Kayak Bass Fishing Angler of the Year and the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing the 10 champion, bested the field of over 100 anglers to take home the title and $30,000 in cash. Big shout out to Jeff Fader for finishing in 3rd place. After we ran into him on the water, he was supremely confident, fishing hard, and had every intention of taking home the title. He came up a little bit short, but 3rd place when coming from Michigan to fish on Toledo Bend ain't too shabby. Well guys, that's gonna do it for the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Trail Series Championship and Kayak Bass Fishing Challenge Series Championship. We'll see you guys next time, but as we go, let's take a look at the top 10 from this year's tournament. Louisiana, feed your soul.